Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's me, R Squad 911, back again with another Ghostbusters Haslab 2-in-the-box Ghost Trap DIY video. Today I'm going to show you guys a different option on how to change the factory switch to the flat switch. And you can see that's quite a big difference. This is more screen accurate. And the one with Haslab, I guess they're a little harder to source. That's why they just went with a regular switch here. But if you're itching to do a mod, and you want to make your trap a little bit more screen accurate and a little bit more different, this is the route to go. Now, I've already done this on my trap because I've kind of exhausted all the options. It's either you buy just the switch alone, where you would desolder this and solder this back on. You can get that from Charlesworth Dynamics. A lot of people who aren't proficient at soldering, they've kind of like burned their boards and kind of like messed it up and they couldn't use it. But that's fine, because this board, you don't really need it. All it does is it connects these wires here to the switch and to the LED. So to simplify that, I've gone and done that myself. I've gotten one of these harnesses, attach it to the switch. There's on, up, off, middle, on again at the bottom, and whichever one that you would put the rumble motor to, and put an LED to it. So basically this board is just a fancy way of doing what I did right here. But here is a but. This board, when it sits inside the trap like this lens, obviously this has been changed to a Linrose Pilot Light, which I have here. I'm going to show you guys how to do that too. You can buy this from Ghostwalker Designs on Etsy. I'm going to put a link in the description below, and also for the Charlesworth Dynamics switch and for the Fruto Technologies board that I put in here and everything. But again, if you are going to go with either the Fruto Technologies board or stick with your factory board and solder the Charlesworth Dynamics, I know there's so many options. You're going to need to have this, because what happens is this board actually holds that light up into the space here. It kind of just locks in with this tab and then pushes up. So it's really just this holding it on. If you go with the Fruto Technologies, you can still use this. But if you just go with the switch, oh my gosh, I know it can get very confusing. You're going to have to get this Linrose hat light and adapter from Charlesworth Dynamics. He has, I guess, a resin printed thing that sits up in it, and it'll sit on top of this, and then the light will shine through. Now, that means you have to buy several things from several people, and then it gets kind of, I don't know, confusing. It doesn't, it's not kind of like an all-in-one sort of thing. And neither is mine, but mine just changes the switch and gives you the option for the LED. And all you need to do is buy one of these Linrose hat lights. You don't need the adapter or anything. You just need to modify this. You got to make sure that when you order one of these, whoever you order from, I highly recommend Ghostwalker Design, that it has this base on there. So you're going to take that cap off, and then inside would be an incandescent bulb. I've already pulled that out. And basically you're going to install that into your trap. LED is going to come up from here. It's going to be basically sitting inside this housing here. That's where you're going to glue it. But from the inside, it's going to sit on top. Then you just put the hat light lens on there, or the pilot light lens, and it just locks into place on the base, like so. All right. So with the Charlesworth Dynamics one, I had to actually glue this onto his mount and then glue it down onto here. So, I mean, there's a lot of work involved where you can just drill a bigger hole, put this in, and everything should be good to go. But yeah, there wasn't that option, and I figured if I could come up with something that helps make it a little bit more simple and straightforward, I guess this should be able to help you guys. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. All right, so we're going to take this and modify it first. So what you're going to do is you're going to take off that lens. You don't want to damage it, so put it away somewhere out of the way. I'm going to unscrew this like so. Place that over to the side. And then, of course, I don't have all my stuff out but you're going to need some snippers like this. And all you're going to do is clip these metal pegs off. 1, 2, that's it. And then you see this base here? Right after the threads, you want to cut that off too. This is probably not the best clippers to do it, but I'm just going to try it anyways. See if I can get it in there. Let's see. Without cutting my fingers off. Yeah, there we go. There, we're just going to be cutting that off. See that? Slowly. Whoa, and that went flying. And then after that, it's all hollowed out. And there you go. And then, hold on, I'll get that piece that I cut off. That's the piece that I cut off. That was what sat on the bottom. And then all the metal prongs all fall out. So that's all garbage here. And yeah, you can clean that up a little bit. I'm just doing it quick and dirty for the camera, but obviously you want to be, you know, a little meticulous and not drop it on the floor like I do, my Butterfingers. And there you go. So you're going to take the LED. It's obviously not going to fit right now because you need to drill it out a little bit, right? Yeah. So you're going to drill it about, I think, 5.5 millimeters, and then this should push through. Then you would hot glue it onto there. Okay, so got my drill bits here. We're going to start off a little smaller. We'll go with like a 4.5. Yeah. Want to, you know, you don't want to go to your exact size right away. This thing's small. You don't want to like rip out of your hand, or you probably should use some needle nose pliers or some sort of pliers to hold it. You do not want to hold it from this part of the base here. You do not want to deform that at all, because that is where the Linrose lens will sit on top. And I keep dropping this thing. I'm so sorry. All right, so just kind of want to hold it tightly like this, and you want to just drill it out. There you go. And that's a little bit step. Then we'll just test. The light is definitely not going to fit through it now. So then we're going to step it up to, I guess, a 5. Okay. It's 5.5. Do it. And it does. So there we go. 5.5. And then all you're going to do is, once you get to this point, you're not going to glue it or anything, but you just want to make sure that the LED goes through. And it's in there actually pretty good. So I'm happy about that. Okay. So there we go. We'll test that the hat light still bolts on. It bolts on nicely. Threads look a little bit mangled here, but hopefully that this thing will still screw on and hold. Yep, it holds without issue. That's good. Okay. So now that that is done, we're going to move everything out of the way here, and we're going to open up this trap. So I'll be right back in 1 second. I'm just going to tidy this up. Okay guys, I'm back. Everything's kind of cleaned up here. I have obviously a mess everywhere else. But you're going to flip this trap over. I guess like this. And then you're going to be unscrewing all the screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now there's going to be plastic caps on there. I have my other video to show you how to open this. Basically you just kind of screw a small like drywall screw into the hole in those caps, and you just yank upwards and it should pop those out. And it does mar it a little bit when you put the screw through it, but you can lightly sand them with very fine sandpaper. I would say 800 grit to 1000 to 2000 grit, and you just polish it back up and you're good to go. So you're just going to remove all these screws. Before you go and do all that, you're going to have to take this trap out. Obviously, the batteries are in here, so you kind of wanted to have it powered down. It's not opening because it was holding it right there. So there you go. It comes off very, very easily, like so. Then you kind of want to open it like a clamshell with the wires pointing downwards. Okay, now if you want to make it easier to work with, you can remove these two screws, pull the speaker out so it floats. You can remove these two screws here, lift it up, get those cables out of the way. I guess I'll do that to show you guys. All right, so inside here, I do have the Fruto Technologies board. I'm going to show you guys how to remove it, just to complete this video. Now you're going to look inside here. There's this one screw right there. And that screw is what, when you release the trap. So when I pull this trigger on the trap, it does move it up and down. I don't know if you can actually see that in the video, but you're going to unscrew the screw. Just hold in the spring that just fired out. Yeah, so it goes spring over the shaft and then screw on top to hold it in. And then you just pull out this. All right, so it just slides back into place there. There's only one way it can go in because these prongs here, they kind of line up with these two slots right there. So we'll pull that out. And that gives you access to the board. All right. I'm not going to take it out all the way because I have my whole switch installed, but basically the factory one, which is right here, right? You would unscrew the nut that was on top of it from outside. So it would have been this nut right up here. You would remove that. And then you would unscrew it with these two screws here. 1, 2. If you can see that there. Yep, these two screws there. And then once those are out, the board comes right out. And then when you pull out the board, it's going to look like this. All right. And then, well, obviously it's not going to look like this because you have to unplug it. So you're going to follow those wires to the main board here. And without grabbing it from the wires, you want to grab it from the sides of the connector and just pull that out. All right. And once you have that pulled out, you're going to take my harness kit here and you're going to, take off all these. You're going to stick the switch in through the hole, and then you're going to bolt it back on kind of like the same way that you did there, like so. And then you're going to plug this in to there. Well, you can probably plug it in first. That's probably what I would do, like that. And then you would put the switch through the hole, bolt it in, position where you want the switch, tighten that by hand first, and then later on you'd use some pliers to really shore up the nut. Make sure you use a lock washer too, so it just holds it into place. Then you'll have this LED. You're going to put that LED through this hole here. Now, I do recommend Charlesworth Dynamics cover plate. I believe Dragon Workshop also makes one in full metal. But mine right now is the Charlesworth Dynamics plate. So when you put that on, you don't have to modify the bottom of it as much. Because if you look at your trap and you look at this light, the trap body itself has this bottom base built in. And basically this red lens pokes through. So that part isn't actually removable. It's actually part of the trap. So you have to drill it or saw it off. So if you get this plate, it helps hide it a little bit. And all you need to do is drill a hole to fit the Linrose Pilot Light base, which is this. So you're going to have to like look and find a drill bit that's the size of that. And I believe, I'm not sure if my drill bit is thick enough for that. This is a 6.5. I believe it's going to be a 7 to 8 millimeter drill bit. And basically you're going to take that hole, you're going to drill it right through to make that hole bigger. And then this will sit through the top of the trap. This will sit through the top of the trap, and you would flip it over from the inside, and that's where you will use the lock washer, like so, and then the nut, and you would screw that into place, like that. And I would love to show you guys how to do it, but mine's all glued in. So that's the issue that I have. When I was doing it, I was like, oh man, this is going to be so permanent. I might not be able to reverse it or take it out and do stuff. I don't know what I would do, to be honest, but that did sit in the back of my mind regarding that. So then once that is in there, you would take that LED and you'd poke it through from underneath. And then I would take some hot glue and just put it into there, and it will just hold that into place. So now, if you're looking at the top of the trap, this should be what you see, just that. Your switch will be installed, and then you would take, well, it would be glued in, it wouldn't be falling out like that. Like that, and then you would take the lens here, and you would just cap it and put it on top, just like that. And that's how it'll look. And I'm going to show you I did that exactly on my Spirit Halloween trap, and that's what I wanted to do with this. But because they came out with these easy to install plug and play kits, I thought that it would just be easier. I didn't want to make myself do so much work. But let me go grab my Spirit trap and I'll show you guys what I mean. Be right back. Okay, so this is my Spirit Halloween trap, and I basically did the same thing that I just explained. So if I take this off right now, you can see there's the LED. It's sitting the base on there. I don't know if I'm going to put one of those switches on here because I already drilled that hole so big for this switch. But yeah. So it's nice and easy. So you can get at the LED if you ever need to service it. I highly doubt it, but it's nice to be able to just twist it off and twist it back on. And it locks in place really well. You don't have to worry about it. I've had this at cons and out for Halloween. I've never had an issue. All right, so that's basically how it'll look. And then I guess we can test this thing. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. I guess we can just plug this straight into here. Actually, no, I'm going to reinstall it and then I'll show you guys how to do it. Okay. Now, there we go. You can see there, LED is working. Then we're going to turn this on. That's a rumble motor. And this is with the rumble motor off. So everything works. Middle off, down or top, depending on which way that you position the switch. Rumble motor will turn on. And the other direction, top or bottom, depending on position, will just turn on the trap without the rumble motor. So yeah, that's how you guys do it. And then you would just button everything up and everything will be good to go. So you just button everything up the reverse way, but I don't have to show you guys that. You guys are smart people. You guys can figure that out. But that is my kind of plug and play harness for this if you are not going to be using the factory lens and going with like the Linrose. So this is it right here. So hopefully this video was helpful. I know it's a little confusing because, you know, I have something already pre-installed and it's already kind of like glued into place. If I can get my hands on somebody else's trap and I can just do the mod, it would have been easier. But this is what I got for you guys. So hopefully it is self-explanatory. If you do have issues, if you do purchase this, you can just reach out to me on Etsy or here on YouTube and I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you a lot quicker on Etsy because sometimes I miss all the comments on my YouTube. But that's pretty much it. You can find this on my Etsy store. I'll put a link in the description below. I am having a little special going on right now if you do purchase any trap mods because I hit over 1,000 sales, which I'm ecstatic about. Thank you for the support. I'll be including these trap side greeblies. You can see it over here. You can get that and this vent here. And it looks pretty cool. It looks a little bit more screen accurate. It's not exact, but I mean, it's just something that adds a little touch, a little flair to your trap. All right, so that's it for now. Please like and subscribe, comment below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.